Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pediatric Speech Sister Saturdays. If you don't know me, my name is Melanie Evans. I am a bilingual speech language pathologist who is passionate about closing the academic achievement gap and finding strategies to share with SLPs on their cultural competency journeys. So today we do have here Jankie. She is a woman in the tech industry, currently working for Lyricare, the new exclusive community for special needs professionals. So, Janky, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Hello, hi Melanie. I think this is such a great chat show. I'm pretty excited. My name is Jankie. I'm from India, currently based out in India. We are having this beautiful, unique platform that I'm working for. I'm the head of marketing in that particular company, and it is all about giving the special community platform for speech language pathologists. And there are a lot of other things that I dabble into, and we can look into it as we chat.
Yes, yes. Well, the reason why I have you here, Donkey, is because I just thought it was so cool that there is an agent-owned platform that is geared towards serving us as speech pathologists. So I
Mhm.
can't wait to get into it. And it was just so cool to connect with you as an Asian woman during International Women's Month. I'm like, let's get into it. Let's promote this. So, Junkie, one thing I always ask my guests is what is your why? What would you say is your purpose in what you do?
This is a very deep question, and honestly, when I was a kid, I have seen my great grandfather impact many lives spiritually, and I again have my grandfather do the same, where he's no more, and he's only been remembered for that positive impact he created in people's life. So if you ask me my why, I think I would love to be just remembered as someone who could be that positive force in people's life, whoever's life I could touch. And maybe that's why I think I love what I do, especially in terms of special needs segment, that these kind of opportunities just let you create an impact in a multifold way. That is my why.
That is awesome. And I really appreciate you also bringing up your grandfather. And I can definitely feel, and anyone who's watching this can definitely feel just the spirit. So I'm sure that he's looking down and just smiling from ear to ear watching you
Thank
do
you.
this. So, Janki, tell us a little bit about your background, personal and professional. I know that you did mention you like this special needs segment. I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
have any background experience in that, but just overall and what brought you to Lyric Care.
All right. So, if we look at my professional background, I started my work with Eli Lilly and Company as a pharmaceutical salesperson, selling oncology drugs to the medical oncologists in a city like Bombay. Very soon, I moved and growed in that segment, started impacting pan country, took few projects which were then for a few more countries which were like Asia area region. But all of it, I think, was kind of kept me going, was that I was impacting lives of people who were really counting days. And oncology and cancer patients are a very tough segment to deal with. So yeah,
Mhm.
professionally, I started my career from there. Was very fortunate to meet Samir, the founder of Lyricare in Dubai, where I could just realize the potential of creating an impact with such a beautiful platform. And that's how I joined Lyricare. And yeah, here I am again, like heading the marketing and loving what I do. So I think I started as sales in pharma, and with the technology industry growing, I think I'm trying to merge my skill set with the way the market is just growing.
Well, we definitely appreciate what you're doing for the healthcare industry and just using your strengths to promote wellness. So, going from oncology to special needs, I can definitely appreciate how you're touching on these different healthcare elements. So, I like how you did mention that you got to meet the founder of Learcare.
That's how my interview happened, and it honestly happened so out of the blue. It was literally like God sent, because I was not really looking for a job in the US segment. I mean, there was no such an idea. And through a friend of mine, who kind of introduced me to his friend who happens to be the founder of Lyricare. And he just explains me the problem that he's been dealing with. And that's where his startup is like, stuck at. And I could just connect the dots from what my experience has been into marketing. And then I was like, okay, you know what, this is what we can take it up and work towards it. So yeah, it was that interaction, if you still ask me, was so inspiring. It touched me because honestly I didn't even know what is an SLP at that point in time. If like, what is the full form of a SLP? I had no idea, zero. But as and when I think I interacted with the founder, um, envisioned what he's been having as a dream to set up, that was something that kind of like inspired me to be here then.
Well, definitely you're not alone. A lot of people don't know what a speech pathologist is. Even though I had a speech pathologist when I was a child, speech pathology was not in my realm of focus until college. I didn't even think about it even existing. So you're not alone in that. You are not alone. And that's so cool that you're able to find out about it in India too.
What inspired you to become an SLP, if I may ask?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Really, I just wanted to help kids and close the academic achievement gap. I started as a broadcast journalism major, and it was just hard. My parents kind of convinced me out of that because they didn't think I'd make a lot of money doing that. So I joined speech, but thankfully I fell in love with the impact and the coursework, and then I finally got to get other opportunities that helped me merge education and speech pathology and advocacy. And so here I am. And that's also the purposes of this platform too, is to be able to spread the word more.
Oh, you're doing a fabulous job, Melanie. Let me tell you, like I am definitely kicked about how you actually, show up the creative ways of touching people's lives, and it's amazing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Jankie. So let's get into lyric care and the background of lyric care. From your perspective, what was in the founder's mind? And what was the purpose of this app for him?
So the founder of Lyric, that's Samir, he has an experience in the speech therapy staffing company in the US.
Okay.
So he was literally interacting and very closely working with SLPs in the US, where he could so clearly see that one, there is so much of shortage of SLP and they're all burdened with work, because of which they're all burnt out. That was his
Mhm.
first insight that he could gauge. And then the other one, on the other hand, is that because the specially disabled or special need children, one of the parent had to not go to either work, and there was one compromise from that other end, because not many people could actually have them take care of. So he could see that there is one, a shortage of supply, and there's so much chaos when it comes to parents actually kind of taking care of their babies. So I think he that's when he thought that there needs to be like a common platform that can bring everyone together. And that's when he thought of Lyric as an answer and a solution to it, so that a small social community which could just bring the special needs professional under one platform and help them get latest news, help them get an extra pay for an hour on an online calendar, and let that calendar be shown to the entire US, why restricted to the geography, so that there's no such supply, I mean there's no such kind of shortage that the market and the children face.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was the background. That's where he came from, and Lyric took birth. That is completely his brainchild.
I really appreciate that, especially just the fact that we need it. We have so many in our field. We have so many different things. We do have the ASHA Leader, which is our professional journal, and we have other things that I'm sure Lyric Care might look at as competitors. But the difference is that Lyric Care is free. And Lyric here allows for a broad scope. So I remember when I look on the app, I'm seeing things from Chat GBT. I'm seeing things from new different apps that will help us with our jobs and that will help us serve bilingual populations. I'm seeing different updates for cool podcasts like Boho Speechy. So it seems like there's more of a range, and it's like I called it the LinkedIn, but for SLPs, which
Yeah.
it just came to me because I'm like, it's pretty much like LinkedIn. We are able to connect with each other. We're able to find different articles on a range of topics. So shout out to the founder for even thinking of us in that way. Did he have a background in speech pathology? I know you said that he's had connections with it, but
So no, he was basically running that staffing company for speech therapists in
okay,
US. So
okay.
that was his background, and that's how he could understand SLPs in a lot more, I would say, detailed way.
Yes, yes, definitely. We are a very dynamic group. We are.
Oh my God. I kind of sometimes get confused even to learn those terminologies like aphasia, dysphagia, and then there's swallowing disorder, then there's bilingual, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, your brain just kind of explodes. Yeah, it's a lot.
Seriously?
It's
I mean,
definitely a
for me, first of all, to know SLPs exist was a new thing, and to understand there's so many segments within SLP was another thing. So yeah, I mean, a huge shout out to Samir for helping bridge this gap and providing Lyricare as that platform where it just becomes a go-to platform and a social community platform whenever an SLP feels that they're stuck, they need a safe space to somewhere like talk to each other. So we are thinking way beyond than just it being providing the latest news and updates, like how you just pointed out. As we don't restrict our news to only being technical and subject driven, but we want to capture anything and everything that's happening in the SLP world at present.
that is awesome. We definitely need more of that. What would you say is your favorite part about the platform?
It's free.
Yes, that's my favorite
I think
part too.
I think that's my favorite part, that we did so much of research and there was so much of a back end user interviews with SLPs, etc. And our founder was so clear, right? Like, and he's still so adamant and clear that we are never going to charge anybody to sign up. We have to keep this platform for free, where they can get their hands on the latest information. They can chat with other SLPs and network with other SLPs to an extent, that they can just discuss whatever they want to discuss. But what if I talk about a technical feature, what's my favorite about Lyricare? And that's in submit an article feature, which usually, if you look at Instagram or Facebook, getting this professional feel to promote yourself, where you just want to talk about, maybe this is my article, or this is an article which I love to read, and you can just copy the URL, go to Lyricare site, paste it, and click on it, so that the same information that you've been reading has now been shared to your SLP friends. And I think that's a really cool feature that we have at present.
That I think so too. I do appreciate how there's no gatekeeping because, like I said, we do have a lot of different journals and publications where we are able to submit articles, but there's a pitching process, there's like an application process, and they can say either yes or no. And so, but the thing is we all have valuable things to share. We have valuable input and insights from our own unique brilliance as individuals, as speech pathologists. And so, not only is it discouraging when we get the no, but it makes it seem like, okay, well, maybe our brilliant ideas aren't so brilliant after all. So I do appreciate, Junkie, that Lyric here is a platform that's like, submit what you have because everyone is valuable, everyone's ideas are needed in this field. And just like what you said, people don't know about us, and even people who could potentially be speech pathologists don't know about speech pathology. So it could be very isolating and even collaborate across platforms. So I'm very thankful for this app. What is something that you've learned since working for the company?
so much. The first thing I'm still learning, I wouldn't really say I have learned it, but I'm still learning, is how to even, set up a startup, a health tech startup in the US. I think,
Mhm.
startups are something, it's become a cool thing now, but to be a part of it and actually work so closely with the founder as a marketer, you start looking at the whole company and the organization from a very different angle. And I think that's been one of my favorite learnings. Another learning, if I look at and on the other side, and which is looking at the outside world, it would be how passionate, selfless, and empathetic SLPs are. I think that was my first learning as a marketer, and that's to understand what our target audience is like. And I've interacted with so many SLPs in the US, and I only could gauge that amount of passion and that selfless attitude to kind of contribute in the society to make the difference. I
Mhm.
think that has really touched me somewhere personally. But yeah, I mean, I'm still learning. As I said, technically, I'm still learning dysphagia, and I'm still learning a
Mhm.
lot of different terminologies that SLPs use so that, it becomes more relevant whenever we interact.
Yes, no, and trust me, we're still learning too. So you're not alone on that. So, what would you say as an Asian woman? What is it like being in a male dominated profession at a tech startup?
Well, I would say I'm not really facing any challenge as such to, first of all, feel that, okay, you know what, I have to think myself as an Asian woman in order
Right.
to make my mark. All the kudos to the founder who's kind of created that sort of an environment, right? Otherwise, it is difficult. I have been in places professionally where, I've been made to feel that, okay, you are a woman and you will have your certain limitations to contribute. But honestly speaking, maybe touch wood, I'm just lucky that the startup culture is such in our organization that it's really like a gender equality environment where I honestly feel whether I'm whatever gender, I can throw my ideas, I can express myself the way I have to express myself. I also see that the world is not about just lyric air, but being an Asian woman, maybe in the other tech set corporate world, I don't know what the challenges would be because it seems definitely dreadful.
Yes. Well, that's awesome that Lyric here is just truly an inclusive company because a lot of times what we see, at least in the US, you legally have to put on a job description that you're an equal opportunity employer. Well, sadly, what happens is, and that's okay, I have dogs too. Sadly, what happens is when you get into the environment, what's posted online is not the reality of the situation. So I'm happy to know that Lyric here is an inclusive environment. What changes would you like to see in tech?
I think with technology coming into people's life, the feeling of safe space has somewhere been diluted. It's kind of like literally got blurred out there because technology has almost reached everywhere. Like it can actually just follow you wherever you are. So I
Mhm.
think that feeling of safe space, feeling of your creative expressions, I think there's so much more that as a tech world we are yet to kind of evolve in those terms. We are evolving, we are definitely on that path, but I still feel there's so much more room where a person can feel safe, heard, and tech driven. And maybe sometimes you don't feel safe, you feel tech driven, you feel heard. So to have all of these combination, I feel there's like a huge shift which the world maybe will see soon.
Yeah, so we are definitely looking forward to that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us at the speaking?
What I would like to share is maybe one of the latest feature that Lyricare is coming up with, and that's something I'm sure you would be thrilled to listen to that. We found out that Facebook groups sometimes have become very toxic when it comes to someone asking a question and then feeling like, okay, you know what, like I can just get the answer what I want. So what Lyricare here has found as a gap, and we're trying to give a solution where there's just going to be a Q&A board, and and there will be different segments and categories based on each Q&A board, and you can ask a question anonymously. Very special niche, community of SLPs. So there is no room of, this fear. There's no room of feeling, threatened or inferior about asking any kind of question. So, again, like redefining or defining what lyric care means is freedom. Here we want to really give freedom to the SLPs to kind of feel safe. They need to have the freedom of expression, freedom of learning for free. So this is one feature I think I would love to share it with all of you, all SLPs out here. It's worth joining lyric care at this point in time.
Yes, especially while it's free. I hope that doesn't change this, but I
It
definitely
won't. I
enjoy.
promise you it won't.
Well, thank you so much, Jankie. If anyone wants to reach out to you, ask you any questions, maybe about the app or about your experience in tech, where can they find you?
On LinkedIn, I'm very much active on LinkedIn and Instagram. And you guys can reach out to me on the social media platform. I think that will be great.
Awesome. Well, I'll include your information in the show notes so people can just find you
Sure.
right after they watch this
Thanks,
episode.
Melanie.
Thank you all to everyone who is watching.
Thank
See you.
you, everyone. Thanks, Melanie. It was lovely chatting with you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Jankie. Bye bye.